All right, we'll start sitting and breathing. Or actually any position that alleviates pain, compression in your area, and allows you to start to flush it with your breath. If it helps to put your hands on the areas where you want to start feeling your breath. Often I cue, use your breath like gentle palpating fingers as you feel through your body. But you can literally use your gentle palpating fingers. Not in a deep tissue massage kind of way, but in a way that invites breath and the subtle vibration of the tissues. So if you start in the most obvious area and get quiet with your breath there, you'll feel other areas start to light up. And you'll start to explore them either with hands or breath, or both. And some tissues you'll notice don't have much of a vibration. They're that tight or numb. And just take note of those areas without judgment. Those will be especially interesting and useful as we move into different yoga poses to check in and see if they respond or are tightening with the medicine of the pose. And to sometimes adjust or modify the way you're doing a pose so it feels like it's moving the flow of the breath, using the breath. But it can be curious just by giving your full attention to these areas, they will start to wake up and speak their own language, a quiet, subtle language. That's why we practice being quiet, so we can hear. Let's come into seated hip opener from a cross-legged seat, left in front of right. Right hand on the ground behind you so you can lean on it, lean away from your left hip. Left hand to the left hip, right on top of the thigh by the hip. Start to traction your thigh bone out and direct your inhale breath into the joint. Exhale, plug your tailbone straight down to the earth. Rooting down literally, almost like you could extend it into the earth. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, turn your chin towards right shoulder. Continue to lean away from left hip. As you soak those tissues with your breath, you might massage the left thigh open or feel for moving the left thigh bone out or down. Those bigger external motions are responses to what you're sensing within with your breath. What we're sensing, responding to, might not register on the cognizant level. It might not come as a verbal or an actual thought, but your body speaks this language. Trust it. Walk your hands back to center. Put your right foot in front. Lean on left hand. Start to open the right hip, using that as your entry point for your breath. Lengthen your spine away from hip, or leg away from hip. Make space. Rooting your tail down. Inhale, telescope the rib cage up, the heart up. Exhale, turn towards left shoulder. A little or a lot. Go slow so you can feel what's right. And walk yourself back to center. 3 rounds of Uddiyana, possibly in Baddha Konasana, with the soles of the feet pressing together, toes spread. Only if sitting like this in this part of the practice helps you to move the belly, sitting up higher. If you're already propped up on something, that can be helpful. Cool. We'll take a huge breath in, ballooning the belly, spreading the ribs, lifting the heart. And then lean forward as you blow the breath out your mouth and soften the belly completely. Hold your breath out, tuck your chin in, hands press into ground or into your legs as you lift the heart and fly the belly, the abdominals up towards your heart. Feeling for lengthening your spine from the inside by lifting, lifting, lifting. And when you have to breathe, relax your belly. We'll repeat that 2 more times. I'll cue this next one together and then hold out as long as you can. When you're ready to breathe again, do the 3rd one on your own. All right, together we breathe in. Empty out. Hold it out. Uddiyana, fly the diaphragm up. Transition to all fours for cats and cows. Starting in our straightforward tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll inhale the heart forward and tuck our toes so our feet get involved in the action. Exhale, untuck the toes as you round your spine. Hang head, tuck tail. Continue on your own. Deep breaths as you start to milk all the muscles that attach to the spine itself. This goes back and forth in this relatively extreme motion. Even if the movement is small, the motion, the back and forth, is fairly extreme. So you don't want to pull on any of those muscles that attach to spine. You may have experienced that backfires. But wake them up with your breath. If it's all right, on your wrists, on your knees, we'll add a little rock to this. Next time you inhale the heart forward, rocking forward a little bit, widening collarbone. And as you exhale back, tucking toes, untucking toes, you might sit all the way back on your heels. Child's. Couple more rounds like that. If you feel the impulse to move into down dog at any point, I'll let you decide how much you want to move. The breath is what decides that. And after this last cycle, we'll meet in child's pose. Wide knees, hips back, arms either stretching forward, or you could fold your hands, rest head on hands. Stay slightly active in this child's pose, pressing your mat forward, reaching your tail back. Long spine, full of breath. Quarter dog pose. Come to a tabletop. Come down on left elbow, elbow under shoulder. Turn your hand into the right so your form is parallel across mat. Stretch right arm forward. Walk your knees back a little bit if needed to put your head down either on arm or on mat. Tail stays high, hips right over knees. So the back of the heart can start to soften as your chest hangs towards earth. And getting those tighter muscles of the upper back to start to unwind can be a great relief for the neck. So it's vital the neck is comfortable in this pose. So whether head is on arm or ground, or you need to start tilting face forward to compress back of the neck intentionally, or tuck the tail a little bit to decompress. Take maybe 5 or 6 investigative breaths into the upper back base of neck. And feel how you can either relax into this pose or stay somewhat active in the reach of it to allow those muscles to start to unwind, to move with your breath. The breath itself does 95% of the work, so you don't have to be too fussy about how you're doing it. Breathe and feel. Move slow as you slide the right hand back underneath your shoulder and slowly press back onto your hands, hanging your head, releasing the neck altogether. The gentle cat-cow feels like the next right thing as you continue to breathe. Do that. Or just stay in a neutral table or cat stretch. Before we do the other side, let's thread the needle coming down onto right shoulder. I like to simply move my left hand to side and come down onto right shoulder. If it feels beneficial to you to reach the right arm back with an inhale and thread underneath with the exhale, like a lot of teachers teach, absolutely follow your breath. Let's keep left hand on the floor in front of your face. I'm just going to turn this way to make sure I'm not just talking to my couch, but you can hear me. Left hand gently pressing into the floor to continue to wind open through front and back of heart without straining neck. Make sure head's in a good position, that neck stays soft. And then stop pressing so you can let the chest come down and ease your way back to neutral tabletop. We'll come down onto the right elbow for quarter dog on the second side, left arm extended forward. Adjust knees as needed. So when you rest your head down and your hips stay high, you can start to relax the muscles along the spine, hanging like a hammock towards earth. So you might need to secure your hammock by engaging the tailbone, reaching it back, or tucking it. Moving the feet in or out. And that can be interesting. The feet in or out creates a seemingly subtle change, but you might feel as you breathe and stay how that will change the whole shape of the spine. For you, with what you're working with, I would say maybe feet in today. But feel that for yourself. Slide left hand under shoulder to ease yourself up into a table or a full cat stretch, Marjanasana. And then thread the needle, coming down onto your left shoulder, other side. Just a little pressure with right hand, emphasizing the twist. Press yourself back to all fours. And let's come onto our backs for a frog lifting through abdominals, which I don't know if you have anything you can put your feet up on. I'm not sure if I'm looking at a wall there. Like my couch is a little bit low, but I could put my feet on it in frog shape. That can be helpful as you focus on moving the pelvis, creating space around the pelvic bones, low spine, where they get compressed. If not, you're strong. So you'll put your sure feet into your imaginary wall in frog. In your frog shape, straddling the thighs, feet as wide as the knees. Knees stay in line with the pelvis, like you're in a high squat with your feet pressing into an imaginary wall. The knees will gradually start to work their way towards your shoulders as your hip flexors try to help. But see if you can keep the knees forward. I want to wake up the low belly with this. Hands interlaced behind head and neck. Elbows pointing up to ceiling to cradle head and neck. Inhale, lift your head off the mat. Activate your legs, straddle them wide, flex the toes back towards your knees. Exhale, tilt the tailbone up, pull your belly down. It's a subtle motion. Legs are doing none of the work but pressing into the wall, maybe. Real or imaginary. Inhale, tail down, keep the shoulders up. Exhale, curl tailbone up. Curl pubic bone to navel, pull navel to spine. Feel for widening inner thighs. tail down. Inhale, lift shoulders a little bit more without pulling on your head. Exhale, tilt tailbone up, pull belly down. Push heels into wall, pull toes back. 2 more. Tail down. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, curl tailbone up. Curling the pubic bone into the navel and pulling your navel into your spine. Inhale, tail down, shoulders up. Exhale, curl the tailbone up. Straddle legs wide, press feet into wall, pull belly down. Inhale, head down. Hands outside your thighs to help your legs together. Setting up for bridge curls. Feet on the floor, hips width apart. Arms start alongside body. I like to start with the palms up for a wider collarbone, more relaxed shoulders. Press your feet down, curl your tailbone up. Inhale into heart and exhale, keep pressing feet to press up to sky. And then let the arms come float above your head. Inhaling all the way up into the chest, highest parts of the chest. Exhale, roll your spine down top to bottom, let the arms follow. Go up and down like that, maybe 4 more times at your own pace. I recommend using your full exhale and inhale on the way up. Exhale and inhale to come down. Of course, you can take more breaths than that on each journey. Feel the movement, the engagement and relaxation of the butt, helping to start each ride up and down, allowing the spine to articulate. Next time you come down, pause for a moment and breathe. Figure 4, starting with left foot on the floor. Pick your right foot up, cross right ankle over left knee. Use your right hand to massage the right thigh open. If you can't quite reach with your hand, you can use a block or something to lovingly open that thigh. Or maybe it's helpful to pick left foot off the floor. But rather than trying to pull in, feel for opening the right leg. Pull your belly down. Keep the tailbone untucked in this variation. Unless, well, actually, experiment for yourself. Very different sensations from curling tail and tipping tail down to floor. Other side. So there's some schools of thought that say because our tailbones are curled, tucked too much from sitting, that's what creates sciatic compression. But then there's some rehabilitative modalities that ask us to actively tuck the tail to strengthen the muscles around it to decompress that area that compresses the sciatic nerve. So I just want you to feel with breath, what is holding on too much? What can open up? What is too open? If something's too compressed, something else is overstretched. All right, let's come to dolphin. Find your way to all fours, however you like. And you're strong. So we'll do dolphin hip opener, just like down dog hip opener. If you want to keep your knees down in this open dolphin hip opener, that works fine, like a tabletop. Measure your elbows distance by wrapping hands around upper arms. Clasp the hands in front of you. Press down to lift out of shoulders as you hang your head, lean your hips back, tuck toes, inhale. Exhale, lift your hips. And you might walk the feet in and forward a little bit just to get grounded through your legs, even if the knees have to bend. Keep lengthening tail back away from shoulders. Bring the feet together. Then raise the right leg up, bend the right knee, turning hips open to the right. Ground through left heel, press it down and back to square off your standing leg. Right hip is opening. Exhale, set right foot down next to left. Ground both feet down, reach your hips back. Feel for dumping in the shoulders and then move out of that. Left leg back and up. Bend your left knee, turn your hips open left. Relax your neck. Right leg is doing a lot of work here of reaching back. Elbows, wrists, pressing the mat forward so neck can relax. Set your feet down. Sitting or standing on your knees. Bring your thumbs to touch together behind you. Roll the head of the shoulder back without popping your ribcage out. Keep the spine straight. Elbows back, shoulders back. Start to straighten your arms, keeping the collarbone front of shoulder wide. And for you, your arms might straighten all the way. If your arms start to straighten, you can start to lift the hands away from your butt. Feeling for keeping the head of the shoulder back. Relax your arms. Twisting lunge, right foot forward. Left elbow, right thigh. Or for this first twist, if you prefer to keep left hand on floor block, that's fine. Grounding your feet, spread all 10 toes. The front 5 toes are lifting. The back 5 toes are anchored to the mat to help you balance. Send your tailbone right into between the 2 feet. Press elbow into thigh to inhale, heart forward. Keep pressing elbow into thigh as you feel for pulling the right hip underneath you. Optional, tuck your back toes, straighten back leg into twisting crescent. Optional. Pigeon. Hands down, lower the right shin down. I know this is the second pose of our standing series. No big expectations for what this pigeon should feel like. Feel what is actually here. Breathe into hips. Set it up however you like. You can come as low or stay as high as you want. We won't be here very long. About 3 more juicy breaths down into pelvis. Wherever you're feeling, respond to your breath. Take advantage of that. Downward facing dog. Twisting lunge, left foot forward. We'll start in knee down lunge. Right elbow over left thigh. Yes, there's a balance element to these twists, especially if you're working with your feet in a natural hip width. That's fine. That's good. Feel the grounding of your feet. Feel them on the earth. Lengthen your tail back. Use your butt to support everything above the hips so it can move and receive your breath. These last couple breaths, we'll turn on the left cheek even more. Feel for pulling it down, getting it nice and hot. And then we'll milk it out in pigeon. Hands down, left shin down. Feel free to put lots of propping underneath your hips so you can relax the tissues in the hip. For a couple exploratory breaths. And come onto your belly. Very low cobra. Hands 8 to 12 inches in front of you. Strong legs reaching back. Lengthen tail towards heels. Pull the mat towards you to pull your heart forward. Superwomaning. Heart, chest, rib cage away from low back. Lengthen tail in the opposite direction. Soften down. Any other variation of cobra. You can do the exact same thing, or maybe you walk the hands back to just in front of shoulders, under shoulders, or behind shoulders. Pull the mat toward you. Get that superwoman sensation of drawing the heart forward, reaching your tail back. Press the feet down and soften your buttocks. Now tilt the tail down some more. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Warrior two, right foot forward. Eagle warrior, right elbow on top of left. Optional, emu. From the shape, start to bow forward. Maybe just bring the elbows down. Maybe starting to lower elbows all the way to the ground, just inside the right foot. If that doesn't work for you, stay in your upright eagle, because next pose will be head to angle prep. So you'll get the same sensation, target for your breath, without using the multitasking of the arms. You'll have use of your own arms. And wherever you are, unwind your eagle, hands to the ground between your 2 feet, still in warrior two. Right knee bent, left hand on the earth or on a block so you can lean on it. Right hand comes up to your right inner thigh and start to draw the thigh bone out towards the foot. Send breath into your opening hip. Exhale, arc your chest towards left ankle, like you're trying to see beyond your back foot. Then relax your neck completely. Prasarita Padasana, hands down, straighten your right leg, turn the toes in so your feet are parallel to each other facing the side of the mat, or even a little pigeon toe, toes in, heels out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Triangle. Turn your right toes back towards front of mat, lining front heel up either with the back arch or the back heel, somewhere with the back foot. Right hand to shin, ankle or thigh, left hand to hip, lifting up out of your hips as you spiral them open, chest open, half bound triangle. Reach left arm behind your back. Maybe reaching around for right thigh, or maybe pressing right down into sacrum as you seesaw your heart forward. Deep lunge hip opener. Bend your right knee, bring your hands down to the inside of right foot, lower back knee onto the earth. So you're in your wide stride lunge. You might move the right foot a little wider out. An option today to let the right knee drop away from your shoulder. If that means turning the toes out so your foot can stay flat on the earth and bending right knee towards toes, cool. Or you can let the foot roll off if your knees are happy about that. Elbows can be down on ground or blocks. Or if you're staying up on your hands, lock your elbows out so your hips can hang. Lower down onto your belly. Right heel to butt. So the leg that was just forward, quad stretch. If you prefer to lie on your left side for your quad stretch, that's fine. Half bow. Release the foot for a moment to come into a sphinx shape. Prop yourself up on your elbows. Elbows directly under shoulders. And then once again, exhale as you bend right knee, reach back to take your foot. This time, right arm will stay straight. Right foot is pulling your right arm back. Like low cobra, pull on the mat with left hand to keep your chest squared, heart moving in the opposite direction. Tuck tailbone, pubic bone down into mat, scoop your belly up. That'll be the fulcrum as your right leg pulls you back, your left arm pulls you forward. Now, a little goes a long way here. If it's way too intense, don't pull and push so hard. Breathe more. Exhale, down dog, cat cow, or any other vinyasa. Something that allows you to focus fully on your huge breaths. Warrior two, left foot forward. Eagle warrior, left elbow crosses on top of the right. If you want to start taking it forward, keep the legs where they are. Legs strong, tail down. You might simply bow head forward. Go slow, especially on the side, as you feel how your hip is responding to the extra traction, the extra weight of your whole upper body. Draw forward. If that does not work for your hips, stay upright. It's much like ostrich, but in eagle arms. Emu. Head to ankle prep. Unwind hands, bring them to the ground between your feet. Still in a warrior two-leg footprint. Lean on right hand. Left hand comes to left thigh. Pressing just above your bent knee. You can press out or back. Feel it feels effective for inviting breath. Sensation. Relax your neck, close your eyes. Give your full attention to this hip. Here's another place where tucking the tail firmly down can be rehabilitative. But if you notice, it brings back compression. Adjust that for yourself. Open to your breath, to what is arising from here. It might not be pleasant, then especially let it come up and out. Or if you do love it, well, don't get attached. But recognize it's there, it's always there. All right, Prasarita, hands down, turn the left toes in, straighten your legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Optional, inhale, half lift, interlacing hands behind back. For a bound forward fold, if you want to come out of the pose to find your strap and pull on a strap instead of locking the fingers, that's fine. You have time. Release your hands to the ground. Triangle. Inhale to a flat back, heart in line with hips. Turn your left toes out towards your Trikonasana. Left hand to shin, toe, thigh. Spin open to the right. Right arm behind your back in a half bind. Press the ground away with the ball of the left foot. Tuck your left hip underneath you. And then breathe the left ribs away from left hip. Make more space. Deep lunge hip opener, lizard lunge variation. Hands down to the inside of left foot. Lower the back knee down. Adjust your feet. And again, my recommendation is the variation where you let left knee fall away. As you stay with breath in hip, you've developed quite a relationship here. You follow which direction your body is telling you to go. Let's slow the breath down, focusing on your hip. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 or 3 more extra slow breaths like that, draining your hip. Last exhale, feel how heavy everything can be. you end up flopping onto the ground, that's fine. We'll turn the breath back up so you can find your way onto your belly. For left H to B, heel to butt. Round one, resting your head on your right arm. Everything relaxed as you focus on the thigh stretch. And here's another fantastic. Here, I would like you to your tailbone down to compress everything around the sacrum. Scoop your low belly up, like you're trying to lift the low belly from your pelvis towards your heart to decompress from the inside. Breath into the ribs, the back ribs right around mid-spine, up into heart. Half bow. If you can hold on to your foot while you prop yourself onto right elbow, that's fine. For me, I'd rather breathe rather than multitask. Come into Sphinx. You're welcome to stay in Sphinx if this feels therapeutic to you. Or take your left foot with left hand on an exhale breath. Let the foot pull your left shoulder back. Any knee issues? Try flexing your foot over your hand. See if that stabilizes. Pulling the mat towards you with right hand. Exhale, lower down. One more spinal extension, and I'll let you choose. You can stay in a Sphinx or low cobra, pulling to create space in low back. Or maybe you want to catch both feet for your bow. But if you're doing one of the more compressive spinal extensions, start by lengthening, tailbone back, creating space in low back, and then press your feet away to lift shoulders up. Breath in, heart. Lengthen out of low back with breath. Wide knee child's pose. You may take a couple cat-cows or wiggles to come back. Sit in square pose. Press yourself up to sitting. Square pose. Let's do left foot in front or left shin stacking on right to begin. We'll add some neck release work. So if you want to sit up on something, if that helps your spine feel longer, cool. And active feet, gently pressing the pinky side of the foot down, spreading the toes back, just enough that you feel how it's more in the hips instead of the knees. Walk your right hand out to the side. Almost bring left hand to hip so you can feel how far you walk. Go out to the side when you're about to tip off left hip. Plant your palm. Pin the left hip down. Hang your head to right shoulder. Right elbow will bend in towards body to help drag shoulder away from ear. Inhale. Telescope the rib cage out and up. Exhale, plug your tailbone down, pull your belly back, relax your jaw. Reach left arm out to the left, fingers towards the earth. You can play with the angle of your left arm, the height, and the angle of your chin, your head, lined up directly over right shoulder, but you might turn the head until you feel just the right spot you want to breathe into. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, tuck your chin all the way down into right collarbones. Keep the left shoulder open. Bring your left hand over towards your right hand. So you're leaning, twisting over your right thigh. Maybe inhale, lift up a little bit so you can turn belly towards right thigh. Exhale, release head, neck. This can be a fairly relaxed shape with a little action of the tail pressing down, the toes spreading wide. Or if you want a juicier stretch, if you're trying to milk that sensation, left elbow or arm might press against the right thigh. Or you can low cobra with your hands on the mat to pull yourself away from left. There are actually so many different rotators in the left hip. Not a lot, but they do go in every single direction. So there are lots of ways you can play. Another way I sometimes like to play, if you want to lean off the left hip, lean onto your right hip. So your left cheek lifts up and then pull it back, pull your belly in. There can be some interesting sensations in there. I'll get quiet for a couple breaths so you can really feel in and play. If you're feeling pain from your sciatic nerve, like a little echo of it, that's fine because you're stretching the muscles that compress it. But if you're actually feeling that inflammatory pain, please back up. I don't want it to get irritated. All right, walk your hands out in front of your legs. Bow, fold over your both shins. Neck relax. Keep the chin tucked, maybe actively tucked as you slowly roll the spine up, head following. Bring a palm to your forehead to help your head back up. Change the cross of your legs. We'll start with right hand on the top of the right thigh. Left hand walks out to the side. When you feel like you're about to tip, plant your palm, pin the right hip down. Option to shrug shoulders to ears, just to find out where they are, and then move them the opposite direction, hanging your head. Neck release, reaching right arm out to the side. And close your eyes so the muscles around the eyes can relax too. You might notice muscles around the jaw, base of tongue soften. Exhale, tuck your chin down into left collarbones. Bring both hands to the outside of left leg. And direct your breath into right hip. You can be as high or low as you like, as twisted, as active or passive. And sometimes focusing on deep hips makes me a little fidgety. I keep wanting to adjust around. I invite you to feel what is actually there, and that might make for fluid movement. The hips want to dance. Sense that in the deeper tissues. That to bow over legs. And muscles right around tail, gently active. So lengthen tail in one direction, and then you can hang your head off the other end of your spine. Neck stays very relaxed or even gently tucked if you have to train your head not to lead but to follow. I am many years in the making with that. Still have to be a conscious talking to. Hand helps head up, and then find your way onto your back to rest. For support, especially if you're keeping the space you created, in that interface, low back, hips, yes, knees bent variations, even sometimes a little extra support underneath the bottom of the buttocks. Like you put your hips on it and then let the sacrum, the bony part, come to the ground, the fleshy part stays on something. So your sacrum has that fully fleshed connection to earth as you let go. Bring your hands to rest on your low belly. Take a slow, full breath, feeling your belly rise into your hands. Exhale, heavy hips. soft tips, ground of the legs. I'll give you a few moments to slowly transition to sitting, though if you prefer to stay resting, you stay. Continue so that through the rest of the day, you're conscious of how your movements and positions are received. We'll meet sitting with palms together, thumbs against sternum, lift heart, bowing head to heart. May the fruits of our practice benefit not only us, but all of our relations. Namaste.